Hey, how you doing, everybody? I'm Jesse Brisendine, and I'm hanging out here with my buddy John Aspra. Johnny, what's going on?
Good. Things are good. How are you doing?
Doing well, buddy. And what we're here is Johnny is a cowboy and a chef, and we were just sitting here. I have a huge fan of barbecue, and John was sharing with me some of his best barbecue recipes.
Yeah. That's kind of an oxymoron, a cowboy chef.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought cowboys just went out with a cast iron stove and beans.
Well, they do. They do. Thus, the Epicurean cowboy.
Yeah, John has a much more refined...
Yeah, we're the Epicurean cowboy.
Yeah, he's got a much more refined... He's going to break down the cowboy chef stereotype.
That's your word of the day. Who was Epicurus and what did he stand for?
Yeah.
How did I become an Epicurean cowboy?
Yeah, you have to remind me of that, because I remember you told me once before what exactly it was and everything, and what was the reason with that?
It started out now many moons ago, growing up in small town Texas, where football, barbecue, outdoor living really is a religion. We all grew up for the taste of the great outdoors, and young guys, we all grew up learning how to cook. And me, being the oldest of a family of 4 kids, my mom ran a small hospital. She depended on me, being the oldest, to do a lot of the cooking, and I did it as a labor of love because I didn't want to wash dishes, so I got to cook. So that was good. You guys wash dishes, I cook. And so then fast forward, and really giving it into kind of a bullet point, when I moved to Santa Barbara, California, which Santa Barbara, as we all know, is one of the most beautiful spots on earth, and this gorgeous backdrop, the mountains coming to the ocean, et cetera, and coming from an outdoor living and great outdoor food, really all we did when we barbecued or cooked outdoors was tri-tip and chicken, and I got so bored with it. I got so tired of tri-tip and chicken, I said, enough's enough. I drew a line in the sand, and I said, I'm going to create a catering company, and I'm going to call it Epicurean Cowboy. And we're going to bring a fine dining approach of service, linens, proper wine, and silver and flatware, and we're going to bring an episode of fine dining towards barbecuing is the bottom line. I know that was kind of long-winded, but that's kind of where we were on it. So anyway, 20 years later, here I am, and I'm ready to get out of it. I'm done with that experiment.
I can testify to Johnny's cooking, because he made these Brussels sprouts one time that I got to try, and to this day I've never encountered a Brussels sprout that even comes close to matching the deliciousness of his Brussels sprouts.
Well, I hope you're not going to hang your hat on my entire career on Brussels sprouts. I have more to offer to the culinary world.
And you can please offer it up, because I definitely want to sample it. But the Brussels sprouts, I just got to say, they were unreal. I never knew Brussels sprouts could be so delicious until I tried these.
Roast them, don't boil them. Roast them with balsamic vinegar, a good balsamic vinegar, butter, salt, and pepper.
Oh, I remember watching, you had the big pan, and I was thinking, you doing, what the hell is he doing with these Brussels sprouts? I've never seen Brussels sprouts handled like this. And then I tried them, and was, oh my God, I didn't want to finish my plate because I didn't want them to be gone.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
So I wanted to share with you all, one of the reasons we're here, John's got kind of a unique situation, and he's been kind enough to allow us to share. And when I say unique, I use the word very loosely, because his situation is really open to how we choose to interpret it. And I've been so impressed with how how he's chosen to interpret it, that I think it's something worth sharing with you all. So in January, right,
Yeah.
John was diagnosed with a form of ALS, and I'll let him tell you a little bit more about that. And one of the things John has reached out to me to talk to me about was he wants to create a foundation, and the intention of the foundation is going to be to help people basically live with dignity. Mm-hmm. And I think it's such a inspiring story, and what we've been kind of talking about, I'll fill it in after this, but it's just how we can do that. So I'll let John explain a little bit more about what's going on, and then I'll come back to where we're going with all this.
Yeah, sure. Well, first off, thanks, Jesse, for letting me tell my story to the world.
Yeah.
You know, that's a great opportunity, and as you guys will find out soon, I'm a bit of a chatty Cathy. I don't necessarily like to talk about myself all the time. I just like to talk.
Yeah,
So,
you guys think I like to talk?
so this is easy. When Jesse asked me to talk a little bit about my story and the challenge, the dilemma, the challenge that I'm going through in my life right now, I was happy to do so. And part of the reason that I'm happy to do so is that I've realized, as Jesse said, in December of 2014, January 2015, I was diagnosed with a rare form of ALS. ALS, as you well may know, is a motor neuron disease. And there's so many subtypes of motor neuron disease that, of course, Johnny Aspra, I had to pick and choose, or the universe chose one for me that's very rare, very slow moving, and very insidious, really. And it's called, the acronym is BAD, brachial amyotrophic dysplasia. Brachial amyotrophic dysplasia. What it does, it's a motor neuron disease where your upper body wastes away through atrophy and loss of strength. And I've been an athlete all my life. I was a college football coach for 17 years in a past life before I started Epicurean Cowboy. And so to say that I've lived vicariously through my vanity as an athlete is the least I could say about it. So my journey of watching my body demise, I've come to realize those are my pet ducks out in the yard, so don't worry about those.
You hear quacking.
Yeah, that's right. Really, real quick, let me cut to the chase. Through this whole process, what's blown me away in the humanity of it and the humility of it all are so many friends, so many people have come to lend a hand and to give a hug and to little things, just bringing me lunch, giving me a ride to the doctor's office, people that have come out of the woodwork. And I've been blessed, and it really is an eye-opening experience, that I've been blessed with so many different groups of friends all over the world, not only in Texas, but in Hawaii, where I coached football at the University of Hawaii and did my graduate degree, Europe, of course California, the Virgin Islands, et cetera, et cetera. So many people have reached out that it really truly is humbling. And what kind of got me on this trek where Jesse and I are now, building my foundation, is that what happens to the people that are out there that don't have anyone? What happens to those people that are alone and they're desperate and they don't have people to come to the house and bring them lunch? Or like today, a simple act of kindness. A girlfriend of mine came by today and helped me change the sheets and make my bed. I have a hard time dressing myself, and so doing domestic chores, cleaning the house, making the bed, washing the dishes, that's a huge chore for me because I'm losing the use of my arms through the ALS, through the BAD, brachial amyotrophic dysplasia. It's a mouthful. So thus, I came up with an idea through Jesse's encouragement to create a philanthropic foundation that will raise money, and not necessarily to spread the gospel of what ALS is, or even necessarily to pay medical bills, but more or less to fund qualified candidates for someone to come to the house and help with domestic chores. Just maybe come read a story or visit or talk or come wash your hair or give as I said earlier, maybe just a manicure or pedicure, or watch TV or go to the zoo or give you a ride out. There's so many people that are out there that don't have anyone to call. And I worry about those people. So the universe has brought not only the humility of the body beautiful, being wasted away with a motor neuron disease, but the universe has also given me a chore to tell other people, to hopefully give people some hope and some dignity, and we call it living with dignity, as opposing to dying with dignity. Someone said to me the other day, John, we really appreciate your dying with dignity. And I said, man, I'm not dying with dignity, I'm living with dignity. And that's the message that Jesse and I want to portray to our people that are watching this, is that, hey, there is hope. There are people out there that are in a shitstorm, so to speak, but you know what? There are people out there that care, and there are means out there to do something nice for someone who needs a hand or needs a leg up. And I'm thankful that the universe gave me this opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and just to echo what John said, is I was so impressed when I chatted with him about it, because we all know that the clock is ticking on all of us, and everybody, we can be philosophical and say, oh yeah, I understand that I could walk out the front door and get hit by a bus and that's it. Yet so few of us live with that purpose or that intention. And I've been so impressed with John's drive to really just live with dignity, and to not have this be at all about dying, but have it be about living, because we're all dying, let's be real. And what's unfortunate is so many of us draw out our death for 70, 80 years before we really start to live. Before we hopped on here, we were talking about, there's a book, and I've shared with a lot of you before, about the 5 regrets of the dying, and how it's so, what a unique opportunity it is to really not have any regrets, but to really live with purpose and passion and an intention to not only maximize the time that John has in his life, but to inspire hope for you all to maximize the time you have in your life. And because let's be real, the time that we all have is a blessing, it's a gift, and it's something that none of us are promised anything. None of us are promised tomorrow, none of us are promised anything beyond now. And also to have an intention to create a foundation to help people, to inspire and help people to live with dignity. And like John said, it's not necessarily just pay the medical bills, but it's to add that other element of it, that human element of
quality of life.
Yeah, quality of life, and just being able to be, even though you have this happening, to be able to still live in a way that you'd want to live, and so that you can really put your emphasis on living with dignity and enjoying all the days and times of your life. And we hope that you guys come along this journey with us, and Johnny and I are going to have some really, I think we're going to have some really awesome conversations over the time. And we're John's been very candid with me, and he's very willing to share and open up and allow us to be a part of his journey. And in turn, what we hope by doing this is it's going to bring people into our lives that we need to help make this foundation a reality. It's going to be people that, when the foundation's there, are going to be open their hearts and want to donate and support it, so it's able to help people, for generations and generations to come. And we hope that this really inspires people out there, whether they have a diagnosis or not, to recognize that the clock's ticking on all of us, and that how we choose to live that time is going to really define our life. John and I have talked about living your dash.
Living your dash.
That little dash between birth and time of death. And it's a dash that none of us know how long we have. And since we don't know how long we have, what the hell, we might as well make the most of it while we can.
That's right. Living your dream. I think, and thank you, really put it in an eloquent form and easy to understand. I think the other part that I wanted to drive home is that I worry about people that are lonely. Loneliness breeds despair. And I'm lucky enough that I have people around me all the time. If I didn't have people around me all the time to distract me from myself, I'd go nuts.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I want to encourage people to do, that they're through our foundation, is to give just a sliver of hope to that person that might be alone, to say, hey, you're not alone. There are people like us, like me, that will reach out and help in any way that I can, just to spend an afternoon, go buy a new pair of shoes, or go to the mall, or get a ride to the theater, go see a movie, do something that's fun, and breathe fresh air, enjoy nature again, get outside. And that's kind of what we're at. And hopefully we'll be able to put that together soon.
Yeah, it's going to be a great journey, and we hope that you come along with us, and we hope that this brings value to your life and the lives of the people that you love and care about the most. And we will be sharing some great stuff along the way.
Yeah.
So, John, thank you for
I look
being a part
forward
of
to
it.
it. I look forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks.